This means basically you follow the path that the Prophet ﷺ has recommended for us. That is what Sunni means. Shia means, literally it means a party. So it's a separate group, a party, which they basically base on this. They claim that we are the successors of Muhammad and his family, and that's the claim. It's nothing that is can be verified. So that's the main difference, basically. Yeah. What about you? What's your background?
But think about it, right? You're a human being. I'm a human being. Everybody's, we all have the same, essentially same DNA, pretty much. The way we're structured. Why would we be so different in the way we think? And I think we're basically a product of what we're taught since growing up, right? Less to do with what you reason by yourselves. Because look at you, right? You come from a Sunni background, and that's what you've been taught, and that's what you believe in.
There are many people who are not born Muslims. Many people that I know
there are
here.
Some who have converted here, I'm sure there are, and they're influenced by what is being said. But by and large, if you really think about it,
well, I think that's true.
We're all the same, right?
Yeah,
we're the same.
But you see,
why do we want to fight with each other?
In Islam, we are not taught to fight for no reason. In fact, there is an ayah in the Quran which says that if you kill one person unjustly, it is as if you have killed the whole of mankind.
But then there's also stuff which says if you blaspheme against the Prophet, you should die. That's something I've heard. At least.
That's in the Quran? No.
Yeah,
it's not in the Quran.
I was talking to one of the.
You must have seen it on CNN.
No. I was speaking to a lawyer, and he said that's the one place where they can justify killing is to blaspheme against the Prophet.
You see,
He's a lawyer.
When the Prophet was alive.
By the way, vigilantism is not something that Islam recommends. There is always a process in the court of law. So even if there was a blasphemy, even if there was a murder, even if there was a theft, you have to go through the due process. You can't just cut somebody's head off or somebody's hand off or imprison.
That seems to be practiced all the time, right? You have beheadings in Saudi Arabia. You have
yeah, but do you think they just do it like on the street, or somebody murdered someone? Let's put him to death.
If you had your door open of your house, they wouldn't cut your hand because there is a reason that you're also responsible that you left your belongings in your house open. The thing that they cut with their hand and stuff like that is like what's it called?
Well, basically there's a due process. There's a judicial process in everything. You can't just go about chopping people's heads off or hands off. That's vigilantism, isn't it?
Planning for the theft itself, and I have to be like.
So you're saying in the name of Islam, there's been no evil committed at all? It's kind of
no, there is. But you see, look.
But why don't you point it out though?
If you
like personal stuff, it's not like you can say ISIS, you can say Saudi. There's a lot of.
I mean, if you look at any religion or non-religion or any society, you'll find certain black sheep, and we do have our share of black sheep.
No, but my point is, if you look at Christianity and Roman Catholicism,
yeah.
200 years ago, in the name of religion, there was a lot of atrocities, right? People did commit. But over time, I think people have become more mature, more cultured, and have accepted other human beings. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, as you said, I nor the line and you skip separations. If you look at it from an educated perspective, at least thinking through it, Islam as a culture, if you will, right, shows intolerance more than others. Right?
I think you're stereotyping based on what you have. Like you said, you have been cultured into thinking that from the media. Now, if you look at
you see it in day-to-day life.
No,
right?
I'll tell you what. How many war zones have you actually been to?
Beheadings, right? Beheadings are,
Yeah, but where did you see the beheading? Hold on. Where did you see the beheading? Did you see it yourself?
I did see it.
You saw it on the news.
Yeah,
exactly my point. You see, you have been cultured.
You're saying beheadings don't exist?
No, you haven't let me finish. Let me finish. Okay? If you look around today, who produces the weapons of mass destruction?
Definitely America.
Okay, very cultured?
No.
No? But you said they're all been cultured. No, they haven't. Wait. I haven't finished.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree.
Most of the wars today that happen, yes, is both the most civilized countries apparently today who not only produce this but actually use this, which is the only country that use atomic power, nuclear power on human beings. Again, America. So you see, your statement that Islam is a culture of violence, that's incorrect. Because what you're doing is you're actually not looking at the bigger picture, which is if you look at World War I and World War II, which were the majority countries? Who were they?
It was the West.
No, not the West. Which religion mainly?
Christian.
Exactly. So you see, that wasn't 200 years ago.
No, yeah, I agree.
Okay,
That's
so
part,
again, like I said, you have been cultured based on what you hear from the media. Now wait. World War I and World War II, I don't think there's any war in history which was responsible for killing so many millions. I think World War II itself was something like 66 million. Yes?
Personally, I'm against wars in general.
Yeah, but you see...
What's the point, right?
But hold on.
Only once, right? Why would you kill each other?
No, that's the point, Killing unjustly, whether you are a Muslim or non-Muslim, this is not something that Islam promotes. Now, what do you see people like ISIS doing? Who are the main victims?
Muslims themselves.
Absolutely. So they are our bigger enemies before the West. Yes, because most of the victims are Muslims. So these fringe groups do not. Yeah, these fringe groups do not represent the majority amongst the Muslims. Yeah, absolutely.
So at the macro level, I agree. There's a lot of atrocities committed by nations who are predominantly Christian, no question, right? But at the micro level, when you can say you justify beheadings, right? Because there's a law that allows you to do that. That is flawed, right? Why would you kill your fellow human being?
Okay. In 9/11.
Do you think
in 9/11, 3,000 people died?
Wait a minute. Do you believe that drone is something that's legal?
No. Drone killings mean no.
Well, nobody's putting them under arrest. Yes, and by the way, that's worse than single person being beheaded. For killing one terrorist, you wipe out an entire town sometimes. I'm not saying you personally, but that drone. And this is something which is not only something that is no one is.
I'm from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
One drone rocket killed 5,500 people in one village. They took a mother and a son, tried to separate them. They were burned that much. They were stuck together, so they buried them together.
Yeah.
One drone killed that many people. So for one Osama bin Laden, 3,000 people died, and then West justifies to killing of thousands and thousands.
Yeah, I don't think you can justify that, right? I agree.
Yeah, but the point is no one is bringing them to justice. That's the point, you see. You keep saying Islam, you're trying to focus on and zero in on a religion. You see, Islam is not a monolithic faith. It is something shared amongst 1.8 billion from all regions to all colors to all backgrounds.
I'm not a scholar, as you said.
You don't need to be a scholar to see this.
General,
this is a fact.
If you look at a lot of is killing within Islam, forget outside, between Shias and Sunnis, right? It's all based on what was the origin of the faith, right?
No, that's a claim. That's where you're mistaken. What you're doing is you are basing your judgment based on what these fringe groups do. That is not what.
Shias are fringe groups?
No, of course the Shias are minority amongst the Muslims. They are like 10% or even less. Yes, but hold on. I'm not saying only the Shias. I'm talking about the ISIS who don't claim to be Shias. They claim to be Sunnis, and they wait. No, hear me out. My friend, hear me out. When I say fringe group, I mean groups, terrorist groups like the ISIS. These are not Shias or Sunnis. They are basically a mix of both, maybe.
10%, right? So what? If they believe a certain approach to Allah, right?
Yeah.
Why do you want to kill them?
Who said I want to kill them? You see, this is what I call. This is what I.
No.
You just
Hashim, brother.
No, I didn't say.
My uncle wife is Shia.
Hold on. What you're doing is you're actually basing. Guys.
You want to kill Shia?
Calm down. This is a strawman argument. Yeah. You make a claim and you think that is the truth. When did any Muslim in the right mind say it's okay to kill anyone regardless of whether they are Muslim or non-Muslim? Unless and until
I tell you, this
is stereotyping.
He was saying about if you blaspheme against the Prophet, it's okay to kill. I think that was the one.
Yeah, but have you actually looked at what the Quran and the Sunnah say? Exactly. So you're basing it on a lawyer.
I'm a human being, right?
Yeah.
We shouldn't be killing each other, right? Over some.
And I agree with you. I agree. We shouldn't kill. I agree with you totally. We shouldn't be killing each other. But the important thing is this: what would you do if somebody comes to kill you?
But when you say somebody, right?
Anybody. Could be anybody. Forget the religion for a fact.
Right. Somebody comes to kill you.
Yeah. What do?
You defend yourself.
Absolutely.
But as a person, it doesn't matter, right?
Sorry.
It doesn't matter who is coming to kill you. You defend yourself.
Absolutely. And that is something what Muslims have been doing. Defensive.
But then now you're generalizing. That means Muslims as a religion are trying to protect other Muslims.
They do, of course. Look at the history.
Have you been to Afghanistan? Who else? Have you seen the horrible things have been done in the name of, oh, this girl is not going to school, we're going to give them democracy. In the name of democracy. I say to those people who judge Muslims, say, Muslims are attacked every day, every single day in their country. Name me one Muslim country who just got out and said, you know what, I'm going to go to England and give them my way of life. Why America wants to give Afghanistan their way of life? Why? Who asked them?
Or the Iraqis.
That's because
not only the Afghanis.
Because Afghanistan was a safe haven for people who wanted to attack the US, right?
Sorry, is a safe haven?
Yeah, let's be honest, right, guys? Bin Laden was based there, right?
No, Bin Laden got caught in Pakistan.
So I'm just saying.
They said he was in Afghanistan.
Well, allegedly, anyway.
Yes.
Again, the TV.
Okay. Anyway, so even if it was a safe haven, what about the other safe havens? Like, for example, the white supremacists in the West.
That's terrible.
Absolutely, but the point is, no one is bringing them to justice.
That's what I'm saying. Any form of discrimination against another human being, right,
It's wrong,
I
yeah.
think it's wrong, right?
Yeah, and I totally agree with that.
Whether
Yeah.
you're Muslim, whether you're Christian,
Yes, and that is what Islam teaches. Non-discrimination is something that Islam teaches. You know, the last sermon of the Prophet ﷺ was basically based on that, not to discriminate on race, all right, or on basically
I'm saying, you know, like
on the
somebody was
status.
saying here,
Yeah.
you know, in Saudi women cannot drive, but they say, oh, it's the culture that stops
It's
it.
the problem for Saudi, not problem for Islam.
I know.
If it was a Sharia,
Go to Malaysia.
you wouldn't find majority of the other countries where they drive.
To the Saudi king, not to us.
And the funny thing is, people around here
Saudi
come and
king
talk
is
about the
one of the
Sharia.
biggest defenders
Bring
of
me
the
a book
faith,
of
right?
Sharia. Bring me a book of Sharia.
Yeah, but you see, we do not follow Saudi or Iraq or Afghanistan. We follow the Prophet ﷺ.
That's it.
So that's why I'm saying do not generalize, because like I said, Muslims are like 1.8 billion. It's not one monolithic religion where you find people of only a certain race or a certain culture there. You find people from all sorts of background.
Okay, so what about these other guys, right? You know, you have the Aga Khans and all those. There's some subsets.
Yeah, they're all subsets of Shiism.
Shias.
Yeah.
They're all.
The Aga Khans, what do you say? These are basically
Similar like
subsets.
the
Yeah.
Mormons and the Jehovah's Witness and all
Like
that.
similar to that.
Yeah,
By
similar.
the way, what's your faith? What do you believe in a religion or?
Yeah, I don't want to speak about it.
Why? You want to ask us about our faith? Why are you cagey about
I'm
yours?
curious. I'm here because you can speak.
Well, I'm
about it.
curious to know about you.
I'm, originally Christian.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm also curious about what other people think.
Okay, so you're still a Christian, or?
I can say that.
Okay. What do you think? You know, you mentioned about the Quran, about the original. This is where it comes from. What do you think about the atrocities in the Bible, for example?
Definitely, that's indefensible, I think.
So do you?
As is any atrocity.
But this is supposed to be a book from God. Do you think that's it's something that is not from God? It's been interpolated.
I'm sure there are aspects of it which are not, right? Because it's more some of it is historical. That's been.
No. Some of it is basically a sanction from God. For example, God in 1 Samuel 15:3 says, "Go and kill every male,
Honestly,
female."
I'm not a scholar, right?
You don't need to be. I mean, I'm telling you what's in the book.
I'm not.
You.
You probably know more about it than I do. But I'd say in general.
No, I'm just asking your opinion. If you find a verse where God says, "Go and kill every male, every female, every child, every infant, and all the animals," would you say that is from an all-loving, all-merciful God?
I would not say. I would say that's not. That is not. That
Okay.
should not be the case.
So you think that's an interpolation in the Bible?
I think that somebody wrote it, which is not which is not really from God. I think so.
Okay, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, obviously, right? Who can justify, killing women and children, families, just like that?
Okay. All right, another question. This is not related to religion, by the way. What do you think of, for example, if a country attacks another country, you said you can defend it. So in that case, would you justify the war? As a defensive war, I mean.
Against war personally.
As a defensive
Because
war?
think about it. What's the point, right? You get killed now. That's it. Your term on this planet is over. Right?
No, but you see,
Personally-
pacifism doesn't work every time. For example, if a powerful country attacks another country, for example, during the time of World War, when Hitler attacked other European countries, do you think they should not have defended themselves? Because that was a war.
They should.
So so now you're saying it's okay to have a defensive war. That's okay.
It's okay to have a defensive war
Okay.
because there's an aggressor who's coming.
Absolutely. You see, that is exactly what the Quran teaches. Do not basically stand sorry, do not be pacifist.
rather win a
I'm
war of
paraphrasing you.
ideas.
If there's an oppressor, you basically face the oppressor. Yeah. So we don't believe in the turn the other cheek when an oppressor is oppressing you. We believe in doing justice. So if you cannot do justice, then that is one of the biggest sins, when you have the ability.
As long as man can exist, there's always going to be injustice, right? Because that's human nature. It's who we are.
Sorry, as long as man.
As long as the human race has existed
Yeah.
and will exist, there will always be
Injustice.
injustice,
Yeah.
right? Because that's human nature.
Yeah.
Right? This is the way everybody's wired differently. Appropriately.
And there is also the aspect of justice. I mean, what do you do in such a case? You need to come together and demand justice. And this is what's not happening. Most of the problems today in the world is because of the injustice being ignored. Because there are certain countries which can go and bomb other countries with impunity. And this is the problem. What do you expect when you've been bombarded so many times? You expect people to just stand quiet and just take it? No. They're going to rise up one day. And they're going to overthrow the leaders. And that's what happened in this Arab Spring. Guess where? Muslim countries again. Because this is what we do not want to tolerate. I mean, any human being does not want to tolerate oppression, regardless of your religion, regardless of your faith. And this is the beauty of what is inbuilt in us. We know, we can distinguish right and wrong. Certain times it's like as clear as day and night.
All right, good. I got to run.
All right, take care, mate. Yeah, nice speaking to you.
All right.